They should have shirts that say, I am a proud felon. I'll tell you why. Because those shirts represent their struggle, their battle.
In no way are we saying, hey, go get a criminal record so you can be proud of it. We're not saying anything of the sort. It's just the people that have been through what they've been through shouldn't hide what they've been through. Generals or admirals in their armies, they don't hide their stripes. They don't hide their badges on their chest. They wear them prominently because they've been through some shit.
I just got out of jail and I ain't going back.
We are get out, stay out. We are the press for the oppressed. Now today we're going to discuss a topic that's been lingering around for a while now. These monikers, these labels. A lot of the people in the prison genre actually somehow have the sentiment that if you call somebody criminally impacted or justice involved, or you call them, God forbid, felon, okay, it has a dehumanizing demeanor and it's very disrespectful. It got to the point where I had a person, not going to mention names because I like the person, and I do say this, I do value an alternative opinion from mine. The Constitution of the United States gives everybody the right to have their own opinion, I believe, with the First Amendment. Okay, that's what press is all about. That's what we do is all about. Exposing the corruption of the system and not doing it where we're just pointing fingers. You're allowed to have a second opinion. If I talk to a cop, they're not going to have the same opinion that a perpetrator is going to have. Perps and cops don't think the same way. Duh, they do two different jobs. Okay, one guy gets arrested, one guy does the arresting. Okay, the word felon, for some reason, is like the N-word in the prison genre. Bottom line is, I actually went out of my way to somebody that I don't agree with on the LinkedIn system.
Yes,
and
the do-gooder system.
The do-gooder system. Yes. They all get together, they give each other pats on the back, they celebrate their victories, which is new jobs, new ventures that they're getting involved in that usually doesn't accomplish much of anything.
A lot of rah-rah.
A lot of rah-rah. The only guy actually in this particular genre that's got the real score out there is this guy named Glenn Martin, I think.
Yes, shout out to Glenn Martin. Big time.
Yeah, he's the only one that actually is tuned in to what we already know. It didn't take us too long. We're New Yorkers. We figure out shit pretty quick. Don't get me wrong. Right. Okay? I consider us pretty street savvy when it comes to that kind of stuff.
I'd say so.
I can smell bullshit a mile away, let's be honest here. And it's not really bullshit. What it comes down to is ineffectual. You got a job, you're getting paid, you don't want to rock the boat, you got to be politically correct all the time. You can't say the wrong words. God forbid you say the wrong words. Oh my God. You'll be victimized. Like I got victimized, I can kill us. I've got a thick skin. Okay, but my perspective is skewed. Here's the problem. Putting down the notes for a second. Here's the problem. Okay. I grew up in an environment where a lot of guys were criminally impacted, felons, okay? A lot of guys did a lot of nasty shit. They got jammed up, they went to the joint, and what happens? They come out of the joint and they get shitted on, okay? No landlord wants to give them a place to live. Employers want to hire them at shit wages and treat them like garbage. So, after a while you say to yourself, what am I doing? So what do they do to curb that situation? They had no choice. They started their own business because of their felony, because of their criminal involvement. They had no choice. They didn't go into business because they wanted to get super rich. They didn't go into business because, like our kids do, that it's a great opportunity. No, it was the only opportunity because when they get this beautiful education in the prison system, some of them did, some didn't, okay, and they got that college degree, it's useless to most guys in the outside world because why? Most employers are going to do criminal check first, credentials on your job second. So they're going to judge you based on your criminality rather than your qualifications for the job. And that's where the problem lies. If you're going to get all the do-gooders out there that really, truly want to help, I mean, they're great people. I'm not going to mention names for a reason. I am not here to denigrate anyone in this arena. They're amazing people. They all have great intentions. We met most of them. Phenomenal people. Okay, but if you're going to look at the problem not from the perspective of actually the felon himself or herself, okay, you're missing the pit. Don't assume, okay, that a guy doesn't want to be called a felon because you think it's dehumanizing. Most of my guys, man, they should have shirts that say, I am a proud felon. I'll tell you why. Because those shirts represent their struggle, their battle. What do you think, Charlie?
Well, so you're right. I mean, some people don't give a shit. It comes the old saying, sticks and stones may break bones, but words can't hurt. Some people just say, you can call me a felon, you can call me a citizen, you can call me this. Some people don't give a shit. Me personally, I wear it like a badge of honor. That's me personally. We say it all the time, bro. I mean, you should be proud from where you came from. I mean, a lot of us have been through struggles that 3/4 of society has never even experienced. So,
well, I mean, it was a catalyst for change. Am I correct?
Absolutely. It's why I'm sitting here with you today. I mean, straight up. But, coming back to the do-gooders, they mean well. But in this specific situation, in no way are we saying, hey, go get a criminal record so you can be proud of it. We're not saying anything of the sort. It's just the people that have been through what they've been through shouldn't hide what they've been through. Like, what do we say with the generals? Generals or admirals in the armies, they don't hide their stripes. They don't hide their badges on their chest. They wear them prominently because they've been through some shit. And that's how I look at it, straight up.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not going to say, I'll say this. If I'm self-employed, which most of my guys are, look, they're not going to go broadcasting and tell the customers, hey, I had a criminal record. No.
Of course not.
They're just going to be doing one thing that they do differently than other people. They're going to take care of people first and money second.
Right.
So many people in this country, it's all about the almighty dollar, about the Benjamins.
Correct.
They can give a crap about the next guy. They want to make enough money, so they figure when they die, they're not taking their money with them, but tell that to them.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but when it comes to a convict who gets released into a hostile environment,
right,
he's got to survive. Look, some of my guys, listen, you could do illegal drug hustling. You learned how to be self-employed. It was illegal self-employment.
Correct.
You could take that experience and turn it into legal employment. But the difference is you're forced as a guy with a criminal record or a woman as a criminal record. And we're getting a lot more women, by the way, coming through with criminal records that, the status of a felon, this, that, and the other, calling them, making up names for people. The reason I say they're second-class citizens is because they are.
Right.
A first-class citizen has a perfect way to come out of say, high school and go into the college situation. And after college, they can go to grad school, and they can collectively make more money. Each step, they're actually progressing on the ladder. They're making more money. That does not happen for a guy that comes out of the joint. He gets a crap job. The bosses don't really want to give pay raises to guys. You got a record. Some guys will fire them 2 weeks later when they do the criminal check behind their back.
Right.
So they're forced to get out of that zone and go into the self-employment arena. Not to get rich, but to survive. And that's what a lot of the people in the do-gooder arena are not really grasping. Okay, I know what they're grasping. They're grasping the fact that, hey, you're calling this guy a felon. We don't want to disrespect this guy. I had a person literally say that I disrespected them because my opinion differed from them. And I quote, disrespecting, okay? Having a different opinion on something is the American way. It's all right if you feel that you don't want to call a guy a felon. Look, Charlie, you're a felon. He's a proud felon. He's a self-employed felon. I got a lot of felons I can fill this room up with that are proud felons, that they're not answering anything to a slave laboring boss, okay? They don't have that, disrespect in their lives. They had enough disrespect when they were in the joint and they had a warden telling them what to do, other inmates telling them what to do, and the cops inside the joint telling them what to do. They had enough of that shit. That's why they're on their own to begin with. They don't need daddy telling them what to do every day. They make their own decision. And I'm not just talking guys. I'm talking a lot of women, too.
Right.
This is what they do.
Well, this is coming back to the language. The reason we're talking about this is because I think if you have to put on a master list of problems that people like myself as an ex-felon, an ex-convict, whatever you want to call us, if you had to put a list of prioritizing things that should be worried about, language and what you call me is at the absolute bottom of the list. That does nothing. Calling me something or naming me something or putting a label on me, it does absolutely nothing for me in the real world. I get out, The first year, whatever the stat is, I don't know if you could shed light on that, but the first year is the most important when you get released. It's a make it or break it year. Is labels or language gonna help me succeed in that first year? I don't fucking think so. I'll be honest with you. And that's how I look at it. And that's when I commented and shed light on this specific person in the thread. And that's exactly what I said. I said, listen, that is not even close to a top issue of what people should be worrying about as a returning citizen. It's the threefold, like we always talk about. Employment or self-employment, housing, and you got to be drug-free.
Well, I will say this, Mr. Podersky. If someone comes out of the can, okay,
yes.
and he's a felon.
Correct.
Okay, if he doesn't have a realization of that, really internalizing that and realize, hey,
right.
You're a felon, what does that really mean?
Right.
We all know what it really means. Society looks at you as if you're the scourge of the universe right now. Now, if you don't want to face that reality, realize this, they're not going to say that to your back. They'll kick you in the balls behind your back.
Correct.
That's how people really operate. Mm-hmm. I had so many do-gooders tell me, hey, we're going to partner up. Yeah, you guys are going to help end mass incarceration and end the high recidivism rate. When I tell people, hey, I have evidence-based research, a 27-page report. You can't even get people to read a 27-page report. These are people from Harvard, Yale, a lot of the top schools that I would imagine, would be receptive. But I gotta say this: they're so busy in their own worlds that honestly, trying to solve some con that's getting out of the can, the old label, oh, he's a criminal. There's no redeeming value to this man.
Right? They're all authors. They're all motivational speakers. They're all top economists, whatever label they want to call themselves.
I'm a two-time publisher.
Now again, there are a select few out there who, mean well and actually do well. They back up their words. There are a select few out there.
There's some good ones out there.
Very few I would say that we've come across. We've been to conferences all over, but I'm just saying there are definitely, a few that actually do what they preach, practice what they preach. But for the most part, a lot of people are, I wouldn't say self-centered in their missions. Maybe some are, but they're just focusing on the wrong things.
Charlie, self-centered is
I know.
kind. Listen, I keep getting from certain people, they just keep wanting me to spend my money on their books or spend my money on their
sponsor
you, and I'm like, listen, you're an NPO. Suck on the government's tit.
I'm telling you.
What are you coming after my money for?
There's billions going around. You can go grab it. They don't want to work for it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And now with AI, everybody's a fucking book publisher.
Oh, please,
Who isn't a book? You're not a book publisher? Holy shit.
Right.
Really?
It's so true.
What it comes down to is if you're going to solve a problem, there's a lot of solutions. Oh. The biggest thing we have to solve right off the bat is get all the people who are in the do-gooder arena, the prison genre, who really want to effectuate change.
Correct. To
actually get together. Stop pointing fingers. But, people I warned you. I'm here to educate you, Mr. Law. You going to educate me? Yeah, you should read this, you should read that.
And I want to, sorry to cut you off, but I want to preface this by saying, I want to read you the comment that this person, Tim commented on somebody's post. They were talking about whether their accolades or their accomplishments, and Tim made a comment on the post, kind of backing them up. Reading the comment saying, I'm not going to say the name, but name, speaks for the neglected victims of crime. The innocent family members of guilty offenders that are left to fend for themselves when their loved ones are sent on an unscheduled vacation into incarceration. Keep up the good work, name. You are greatly appreciated. Now, to me, that's a simple, hey, thanks, appreciate your support.
Well, just remember.
That's not how it ended.
Now, truth be told, I didn't agree with the person on the labeling, but I respected the person enough.
Of course.
I was man enough to actually say, you know what? I'm going to pay some kudos to her because I see she's working hard in her arena, and hopefully maybe she can get some headway. But what she came back to me at...
Right, which I'm about to read, Preface this by saying Tim and this so-called person have spoken before about this subject. Yes. In great detail. We're not talking a quick commenting thread back and forth. They spent over an hour on the phone discussing this problem.
Yes.
Their response to this was, hi, Timothy, thank you. No, I actually speak for incarcerated people. formerly incarcerated people, and the families who support them through incarceration. Remember this, Tim. We spoke about how important language is when speaking about this population of people.
Yes.
Please readjust the way you put my name in your quotes.
I'm just saying she might be chastising me at that point.
I understand your intention, but your words, your language, are extremely offensive and not welcomed in the community I speak and advocate for. We use people-first language. I've made it clear, and have given you and your entire team over 25 articles explaining this.
I think it was more like 30.
Whatever it was, let's preface this by saying in no way did we read one single word of those articles.
No one read our 27-page report.
That's it.
Research.
You know, we
evidence-based bullshit.
You want to give us an opinion and feelings on what some do-gooder editors wrote about and journalists, but we give you evidence-based and you don't even take a look at it. So, that being said, that's how this transpired, and that's why we're talking about labels and languages here because, again, these people do well, they mean well, but at the same time, it is what it is.
Should I read my response to her?
So Tim, responding to their response, said, "Really, name? I was just trying to throw you a compliment. I know you put a lot of time and effort into your work. Obviously, we don't see eye to eye and have different opinions on this, but I gotta tell you, a lot of the felons I have been meeting with at parole and probation have no problem with the word felon. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of other do-gooders out there in this community that have no problem using moniker felon when it comes to Trump, of course. Donnie Trump, he's a felon and everybody loves saying him.
34-time felon. And people say, well, maybe we should change all the laws and now everything's like, no.
Nah.
No, what he proved being a 34 felon conviction is he's going to become president of the United States. And I'm not going to say I'm a Trumper or I'm not a Trumper.
Don't matter.
Simple fact. If and when Donald J. Trump becomes president, he'll be the first president in history to be convicted of 34 felonies. Now that is a fucking accomplishment, and he's a goddamn proud felon. Let me tell you that, buddy.
And on top
proud
of that,
felon.
And on top of that, even no matter which way you go, left, right, red, blue, it don't matter. Purple. Hunter Biden was just found guilty on all charges for his gun charges.
Yeah,
they had no problem calling him.
Something else about
he was a felon.
he got convicted on gun charges, and to be honest with you, I'm gonna say, and again, not that I'm a Trumper or not a Trumper, but when it comes to gun charges, I got a sweet spot inside. I don't think anybody should be charged.
Well,
with gun charges.
this was a little different.
What was
it? Wasn't simple possession. It was the fact that after this laptop came out, supposedly, this is my interpretation of it. By the way, this is not legal advice.
Bro. Tell me what you got.
I know. They're claiming that after the laptop came out and they saw that he was doing all these drugs, coke, blow, all this stuff, he was doing it while he held an actual concealed permit carry. So he signed a legally binding document saying you were to do absolutely no drugs while you actually own this gun. So he admitted he had a severe drug problem and was going to rehab while he had a concealed carry permit.
Okay, yeah, again,
that's
Charlie, I'm going to tell you something straight up.
Just saying.
That's bullshit.
I'm just saying the law.
Okay, look, if I'm drunk as a skunk, okay,
that's not an illegal drug.
I'm doing fucking meth.
Correct.
I'm method out of my fucking head.
Yes.
You know what, Charlie? Or I'm doing cocaine, or I'm doing whatever drug they decide is illegal.
Correct.
Okay? I'm still a fucking American.
Yes,
I didn't change being an American. And even as a drug addict, I'm not going out there whacking people. Oh, you're more likely. Yeah, I don't know. I've done a lot of drugs in my day.
No, of course.
I'm not going to go out and take my loaded fucking 38 and go blasting fucking
You're
guys.
right, bro. Of course. I'm not saying you are. They're saying it's a possibility that if you're fucking whacked out on meth and you have a concealed carry, you might be out of your fucking mind and go shoot up random people because you think you see a ghost.
So what you're really saying is both the Republican and the Democrats have used bullshit charges against each other to make the other guy look like shit.
Correct.
But in actuality, they're both just complete rubbish. A clerical piece of paper I signed, a contract that I signed. Donald Trump. You know Donald Trump got 34 felony convictions for the same fucking felony.
Yeah.
Like it's each one of these checks was a different felony, but like to me it's like 34 times double jeopardy.
Pretty much.
Like, come on, you got me for fraud, you got me for kiting, I got it. How is it that you're getting me for all these other ones? It's same exact charge. You know, when you read this shit, it's garbage.
It's all bullshit. It was just check amounts or whatever it was. But, coming back to the language part of it, what it comes down to, what we mean by this is It's all good and dandy to use the right language and labels if it fits the agenda, but as soon as it's the other way around, we'll call Trump a felon, we'll call Hunter Biden a felon, we'll call everybody a felon, as long as it fits what we're reading, you know what I'm saying? That's what it comes down to. So when you get do-gooders like this who are saying, can't use those labels, you can't, don't call him a felon, what are you doing?
Listen, the truth of the matter is, they called Donnie a felon because they feel in their hearts and souls he is the Antichrist. Correct. He's a Nazi leader. He's the devil. Oh my God! You could call him a felon. You know why? Because he's a dirty dog, low-life piece of garbage shit. Correct. Felon. Correct. He's Johnny Hump Trump. What the hell?
Yep.
The minute one of their guys, I don't hear anybody. Hunter, is he a felon too? Is it possible? Isn't that a felony? Is that a felony?
It's definitely a felony. He's guilty on all counts.
So what you're really saying is all politicians are fucking felonious.
Of course they are.
Look, just like guys, girls, anyone out there.
That's it.
Okay, there's a lot of fucking criminals out there that done a lot of nastier shit than the guys in the joint. But guess what? They never got caught.
Got away with it.
Okay? They're walking the streets.
It's so true. It's it's such a joke. It really is.
And the only label that really matters to anybody, seriously, is one label. Freedom. That's the only thing that matters. You don't care. You get out of the joint, you call me a felon, call me free. Okay?
Correct.
But if I got out of the joint and I knew that I had a felony hanging over my head, a criminal record that's going to hold me back in life, I would make the uncomfortable decision of starting my own business, risky as shit, but guess what? Right. I probably took massive risks getting in the joint, so I'm going to assume those risks and go out and take what I know I deserve. I did my time. I did the crime, did my time. Now let me be free. And then free doesn't mean go work for a boss that's going to subject you to the same bullshit you were a lot of times inside.
Now, granted, some people may consider that freedom. They might.
Granted, you're 100%.
Whatever works for you and floats your boat. But I'm going to speak as a convicted felon, an ex-convict, whatever you want to label me as. It is so degrading when you go through a situation and get denied raises, or you have to sit through that interview and explain yourself, explain your story, bring up your past again. Now, again, I don't hone on the past, but when you got to explain it just so you can actually appease somebody that writes your checks every month, it's so degrading, and there's only one way to get away from that, and that's entering the world of self-employment.
And granted, just so we're clear, if someone gets out of the joint, be it a man or a woman, doesn't matter, okay, listen, if they're mentally ill or they got zero ambition.
Right.
I don't give a shit. Whatever. We're not going to be able to help them.
Right.
Okay,
exactly.
But if they got out of their joint and they really want to make that second chance happen in their life, their best shot is self-employment. That doesn't mean they're going to succeed.
Yeah, right.
See, the whole thing about self-employment is go through the failures to get to the success. When you're a guy who went through a lot of shit inside of the joint, you're well-equipped to go through hell to get to heaven. And that's why a lot of guys who become successful when they have criminal records, because they had no choice. They took their ambition, wrapped right in a big ball, okay, and used it the right way, okay? And they weren't going out there trying to rape and pillage the village. That wasn't what they were doing. They went out there to try to accomplish a successful business by helping people. And if they don't, hey, listen, I'm sure some guys come out and they'll do the wrong thing.
They will.
But they'll wind up right back to where they began.
I did.
Yeah.
I caught another charge.
Yeah.
Not even a year after I got released. Wasn't anything crazy. A little marijuana possession.
Right.
This was before it was legal most places. But it's the same thing. It's just, some people, and again, it's a little scary going into the world of self-employment. It is. You got to take risks. But, there's no reward without the risks. And, I think we could speak for ourselves, both me and you. We've failed at a couple things.
You gotta.
We definitely have. Together, entering business together, we failed at a couple models.
I'm a proud failure.
It is what it is.
Hey, every time I failed, it was a nice education.
Oh, one of the best educations. You don't get educated unless you fail. There's definitely successes in the failures.
Well, look, to a degree. I could read a book that says that my body, anatomically, if I jump off a cliff that's over 150 feet, I'm probably going to go poof. But guess what?
Probably.
I probably don't have to experience that one.
No.
Okay? I definitely, I got friends that drive cars. Timmy, Mike, I could do 150 in my car. Whoa! Whoa!
God bless you.
Another experience I'm probably going to refrain from doing. No thank you, man. 150? All you, bro.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but again, education without opportunity
Means
is the
nothing.
problem here.
Yeah,
If I
correct.
have proper education and you give me a real opportunity, I'm in. But the problem is a lot of guys who are felons come out and they don't have the same opportunities because they get crapped on.
Well, even forgetting about felons for a second, let's pretend you're a perfect first-class citizen with a clean, squeaky clean record. There are probably thousands of people. I've seen plenty of stuff on the world of social media where girls, gals, guys, whoever you want to call it, are walking through the streets of Manhattan in the boroughs with dozens of paper copies of their resumes in their hands because they spent 80 G's on a 4-year degree and going door to door to see if they can actually get an opportunity. So not just people who have a felony or have a record with degrees are having a hard time. People with squeaky clean records have lack of opportunity with these degrees.
Okay, well, that's a whole nother little
Just
subject
saying.
matter. But I will say this. That's another reason why guys coming out of the joint have to be self-employed.
Correct.
Because what you're really talking about, that I think you're talking about, is the fact that a regular first-class citizen who the world treats with mutual respect and they go through the circles where they barely ever touched the criminal side of life. They never got arrested, probably never had a record. Okay, those people can go down the path of go to college, get some knowledge, go to grad school, then
Whole 9
doctorate.
yards.
Okay, but guess what? A guy who's comes out of the joint, who has absolutely zero chance of landing a job, has no with a boss that's going to look up his credentials.
Of course, right.
That person has no other opportunity in life but to literally start a business that a lot of the people who are first-class citizens would view as super risky.
Right.
Oh my God, I don't get a paycheck. If I get no paycheck, oh my God,
That's it.
I can't do this. I'll starve. Well, they have no choice. That's the difference.
right.
And sometimes in life when you have no choice is when wonderful things happen. And you progress in your life.
That's the truth.
Now,
man.
in first-class world, like, they don't have that. But here's the thing that stops them. And it's equal for first-class and second-class citizens. There's two things that screw all of them over. And it's coming rapidly in this country.
Mm-hmm.
It's called globalization, which you already know about, and I'll talk in a minute. And then you got AI. Globalization, basically, just replace that word with cheap foreign labor. That's all you got to do. I'm a computer science major. I just went to Binghamton, man. I busted loose, man. I got like straight A's. Woo! Cost me a little penny. I didn't spend as much as I did at Harvard, Yale, or Cornell, or Dartmouth, but I got myself a computer science degree. You go out and get yourself a job, and guess what happens? Fiverr's hiring a guy from India that are going to do your job for $10 an hour, not even, compared to your $50 an hour. You're out of a job, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, or you better start freelancing immediately. Okay, the other one is AI, and that's the scarier one. AI is so scary because 24/7 they can work, no holidays, no unions to worry about. Okay, AI doesn't complain, doesn't bitch. Okay, you can have them working literally 24 hours a day, which is insane.
Yeah, right.
Okay, the amount of work they could do would be, you don't have to worry about health benefits, no lame excuses. There's no, I got a birthday party to go to, I got an anniversary to go to. No. No, they just basically sit back, do your business, and you're done.
Right, when you take away that human element where somebody sitting down with an interview with you might be a little humane in their mind and say, sounds like you've been through some shit, I'll give you a shot. That's out the window with the AI. AI just says, social security number, criminal record, done.
Oh, what you're really talking about is the fact that AI vets you, screens you out.
Correct.
You don't even know.
Well, that's what we're talking
that
about
happened.
here.
The worst thing is you put 50 resumes out. You're thinking, I'm doing the right thing here.
Right.
I'm doing the right thing. Okay, and guess what? If you're a criminal with a record,
you're done.
Now, I will say this. It's really hard to get the criminal database. I tried it. It's really hard to get those criminal. But eventually you find out where they lived.
Yeah, right.
On their resume. The AI is so smart now. If you put down, I'm in Ohio, it'll cross-reference all of the Ohio databases Oh, and then where else have you lived? I lived in New York, so it only cross-references the states. And when they find you and they get rid, you don't even know about it. The guy looking for an interview, the interviewer,
Right.
won't even know you were in the pool of applicants because he doesn't even, or she doesn't even know, because the AI is so sophisticated, it only gives them a scrubbed list.
That's the truth. I mean, even the globalization part is so real, bro. Perfect example. My uncle, he's a top chemist at Pfizer.
Right.
They gave him a nice early retirement package. Very nice. The reason why may shock people. Over 30 years of service to Pfizer, loyal, hard worker, no doubt. Worked remotely, worked in the labs, whatever. They did not give him retirement because they just thought he was a good guy. They gave him retirement because they are outsourcing 20% of their workforce. To where? India, Indonesia, China.
Now, I want you to think about what you're saying. A company like that,
Pfizer,
is making so much effing money.
Oh, it's disgusting.
I mean,
billions.
Literally making, like, what they made in COVID was insane.
Oh, crazy.
Okay, and for them to say, hey, you know what? Now we're going to cut corners even further.
20%.
Now we're not just going to make a shitload of money. Now we're going to cut expenses and make even more money. Okay, we take, 30-year business, get out. You're out. You're done. Okay? But that just goes to show you, if you want a future in America, you have to create your future. Just like if you're a criminal and you want a second chance in life, you gotta have the brains, the balls, and the vision to produce that second chance by yourself. Because when you do it yourself, you control the show, you control the flow, okay? No one can stop you. You can be unstoppable. You can be relentless. Yeah. Why? Because it's your own gig. You set the hours. Your ambition dictates your ride. No one else.
It's the truth. And again, it's not for everybody.
No.
Some people don't have the brains, the balls, the vision, the guts, whatever you want to call it.
But some people, Charlie, have no fucking choice.
You're right.
When you say it's not for everybody, I agree with you. But I'll tell you right now, if you're a convict coming out of the joint, I don't give a fuck if you think, well, this is not for me.
Of course.
I'm not that ambitious. Yeah, bro, grow the fuck up, okay? Your only chance to survive the right way without getting violated is to start your own business. And if your PO gives you a problem, you got to do that shit on the sly until you make enough money so that the parole's over and you got your business in place. And again, that's one of the reasons why we put it together, because we did the research and there's your answer. If there was another fucking answer, I would have done the research on the other answer. If we didn't figure out from Texas, PEP, and from Wharton, University of Pennsylvania, who confirmed it April 1st, that entrepreneurism is the number one way for convicts not to actually get out and stay out and not recidivize, then guess what? I would have done something different. But those are the facts. I only deal with evidence-based research.
And a lot of people say, oh, well, places like UPS, FedEx, they hire ex-felons. They hire them.
Of course they do.
They do. But do your research. Every year for the past 3 years, they have cut over 20,000 jobs every year.
Exactly.
Why? They're outsourcing.
I don't know.
They're outsourcing.
I don't know.
They don't
I
need
bet you
you.
the criminals are on the top of the list. I'm just saying. Can't confirm it, but I'm pretty sure they're on the top of the list.
I would probably say so, but, in a nutshell, we're talking about labels and language here. It don't matter in the end. It does nothing for you. Embrace that you've been through some shit. I've been through some shit. Tim's been through shit. Embrace it. In no way are we saying go commit crime so you can have that label. We ain't saying that. But if you happen to get caught up in some shit, don't, oh man, people are going to call me this. This guy's going to look at me at this. Embrace that shit.